Well, hello, General Hospital Daily Recap fans. Today's daily recap is for Tuesday, August the 15th, 2023. Tuesday, August the 15th. Well, I'm going to go through the nothing, yada, yada, yada. TJ and Molly interview surrogates. There were two good ones, one bad one. So we knew choice would be between the two good ones. Um, and looks like they're going to pick one of the two. I don't really care about that. Then we have Curtis trying to get physical therapy, working on his upper body strength, and Portia's in the doorway, just looking, and she has a bag, I guess, lunch for him. Now he's in a rehab facility. They feed him lunch. But anyway, after he finishes his rep, he turns around and he sees her at the door. And she's standing there. And she said, Trina told me you all talked, that it was a breakthrough, and she's going on and on. He goes, did she really say that? That because somehow she goes, she has two dads, and he goes, did she say that? She goes, but no, that was my interpretation, but she said it was a breakthrough. And so she goes, so I felt that if you and Trina were able to talk like that, we could. He's like, you and Trina, you and me and Trina, two different relationships, two different circumstances. No. So he pretty much, Curtis ain't thinking about Portia right now. And Portia wanted to be about her. But I'm here for you. I'm here to help you. And he was like, so he goes out for a minute, wheels out, and she's talking to the physical therapist. Because she goes, I no, she says, how's Curtis doing? And he goes, physical therapy is like a long, hard road. Okay, how can I help? Because I'm here to help. And he looked at her and he says, Dr. Robinson, what exactly do you think help looks like? Like, what do you think you could do to help Curtis? Well, she could be a part of his regiment. And he goes, it's a long road, it's a hard road, and it's Curtis's journey. His recovery doesn't look like what's in your mind, maybe what's in my mind. His recovery is his recovery. I'm here to help facilitate. He says, you would be doing more harm than good. And she couldn't believe what, huh? I mean, I can't sit here and Curtis, but Curtis. I can't do that. That ain't gonna help. But Curtis, you got this, Curtis. That's not gonna motivate him. That's like kick rocks, Portia. Kick rocks. So she's like, oh, she understood. And Curtis came back in, and the guy says, okay, are you ready to get started on your second set? And Curtis goes, yes. And he kind of looks at Portia like, you could go. So she walks out. So Curtis is trying to do, pushing up, building up his strength by pushing off of his chair, lifting his body weight with his hands on the arms of his wheelchair. So who comes right back to the door just watching? Portia. And I'm like, you know what, Portia? If Curtis sees you, he's going to be pissed off because he doesn't want her there. He's trying to concentrate. He's trying to get in the zone. She sure did came stepping right there to the doorway, just looking at Curtis, trying to push up, right? And the physical therapist hadn't noticed her, but it would be interesting had the camera showed him noticing her standing there, like, what? Right? So now we have Gregory is meeting Chase in Brooklyn. Chase is late, so it gave him a really good opportunity to get to know Brooklyn. Chase gets there and he's gushing all over Brooklyn. She's the best thing that ever happened to me, Brooklyn. Right? So it's Gregory is going to sign for the check. Now Alexis is there. She had been meeting with Esme. I'll get to that. Well, my throat's acting up. Let me get a little cough drop. So anyway, she notices because her lunch is over. She notices Gregory's hand is shaking. He's having a hard time picking up the credit card again. But Chase and Brooklyn didn't even notice. They're too busy. Brooklyn's too busy. So, so anyway, Alexis comes over and she goes, "How you feeling?" And he goes, she goes, "Yeah, I know." He goes, "You saw that?" She goes, "Yep, I saw it." He said, "Well, thank goodness they were too busy looking at each other. They didn't notice." And he told Alexis, "Things are getting worse," which I'm thinking, I know they should be getting worse, right? We've been, for a while, he was stumbling around. At least he's not doing that as much. So I guess they're getting ready to make it progress now. But here's a scene that, I had to get this shot. Alexis took Esme up there for lunch at poolside because she said she was just ready to didn't want to have salad at her desk because Esme's thinking she did something wrong. And Alexis says, "No, just like I tell my employees when they are doing wrong." And Esme's looking like, "Oh no, what did I do?" I feel it's equally as important to let them know when they're doing a good job, when they're doing something right, and you are getting a handle on the job. And the way the camera caught Esme's face, I looked at her and I thought, was an ugly dress, but that was the prettiest I have seen her look. There was something wholesome, something lit up in her face. And when Alexis gave her that compliment, that's what her eyes did. They smiled because no one's ever complimented her, right? And she heard it and then she goes, "Wait, do you really mean that?" Like, "Look, are you ready to snatch the rug out from under me?" And I thought, now that she is very pretty there. Almost makes you forget what she's done. Wow. If they didn't make her so evil, she could have been a good person, right? Well, they're trying to make her a good person right now. But anyway, I just had to get a snip of that because I really, really liked that. So now on to the good stuff. The good stuff is Ava is bugging Sunny to no end, and he's telling her to get a grip, calm down. You know, he's got everything under control. And so she goes, "Okay, fine, fine." He goes, "Avery is always protected." And in my mind, I'm thinking, why don't you have cameras in your house that are turned on when you're not home, right? I can understand when you don't want cameras in your house when you're home, because you're my boss. But I'd have them bad boys switched on when I'm not home, right? So anyway, he goes, "I planted some information, false information on Pikeman, because for some reason who they working for want to know about my Pikeman deal." And I'm surprised Ava didn't say, what is Pikeman? What's the deal?" She didn't even ask, because she know, right? So anyway, Sunny says, so she's going to get it, take it back to her boss, and we're going to be able to trace it. And I'm thinking, how are you going to be able to trace it? You didn't put a virus in the file, whatever. Brick is supposed to be able to trace it. So then she goes, "Okay, well, you may find out who their boss is, but then how are you going to get Nicholas's body? I need Nicholas's body." And I thought, Ava, you know what? You better be thinking about that, chick. Because you should have came to Sonny months ago. Should have came to him, called him up when Nicholas made the threat, because Sonny would have been the one to kill him, and he threw his body in the wherever they throw the bodies, right? But now, oh, Sonny, I need that body. Well, you know what? Put your two brain cells together and figure out how you gonna get it, Ava. So anyway, Sonny's just like, you know what? You need to relax. And he sits down and everything is going into play. Sonny has the handsomest body. This other bodyguard, I forget his name too. He is very handsome. Dex is not handsome to me, but Dex is growing on me. He's growing up. But this other bodyguard is fine. I can see Jocelyn have been falling for that one. He's too cute. So anyway, they let Betty and Avery in. And Betty says, you know what, Avery, you've had a long, hard day. You know, why don't you go back into your room and take a nap? She said, what? Naps are for babies. Oh no, I'm watching TV. She takes the remote control, turns the TV on, and Betty just looks at her. And I'm thinking, how you gonna handle that, Betty? How you gonna handle that, right? So then she goes, you know what, Avery? How about this? You watch your cartoons with your headphones on your tablet. And she gives Avery the tablet and the headphones, and Avery just looks at her, fine. And Betty turns the TV off, right? So Avery puts on her headphones and she's looking at her tablet. So Sonny had told Dex, you know what, you to give her a while so she could do some snooping around, and then you go in there. So Dex went in a little early, you know, and so she goes, and she was looking through Sonny's mail, the envelopes, and Dex says, what are you doing over there? And she turns and she goes, I'm looking for art supplies. And I thought, that's the best you could do? I'm sitting here, and I don't have many envelopes around me, looking through mail, clearly mail. And I'm gonna turn and say, oh, I'm looking for some I want to make a cake. I'm looking for some flour over here. I'm looking for art supply, whatever. And Dex just looked at her. So she goes, you know, and Avery's like, hey, Dex. And so she's like, you know what? Avery needs a nap. And she goes, you said I could watch my tablet. He goes, well, Avery does not need to be disturbed. So can you please, you know, go outside or whatever? And he goes, oh, okay. Bye, Avery. And he walks out. So he tells the other bodyguard, oh, she wants some alone time to snoop around, right? Everything's going according to plan. So now Betty's still snooping, so she gets into Sonny's office. Now, to me, Sonny left it a little too easy. Who doesn't have their computer password protected? I don't understand that, right? That's crazy. But anyway, she just cat's meowing it. Ooh, she's in it looking around and type search word pikeman. Ooh, file pops up. Oh, she's so ultra happy. Now, mind you, Nina come walking up outside the penthouse and says, I left something in there. I need to go get it. And so Dex says, I'm sorry, Miss Reeves. Oh, I mean Nina, but I can't let you in there. What you mean you can't let me in there? He says, I can't let you in there. It's boss's orders. You mean to tell, I practically live here. You mean to tell me Sonny says I can't go in? So Dex says, no, he didn't name you by name, you specifically. We are not allowed to let anyone in. I'm sorry, it's boss's orders. And Dex is standing by the door like you, and Nina's looking like, oh, you better let me in. And Dex is just looking at her like, you ain't getting in here. So Nina looks at him, and I'm surprised she didn't say, this is Jocelyn's doing. I mean, because that's how Nina do, right? She turned and walked away, and I said, oh, here she goes. She's getting ready to go see Sonny. She goes charging into Sonny's office, and Ava's there, looking frazzled like she'd been looking, needing a martini in her hand. And she goes, Sonny, why could I not get in the penthouse? our home. And so Ava, she looks over at Ava and says, "What are you doing here, Ava?" And Ava says, well, I'm here to talk to somebody about Avery." And Nina just looks at her and is like, your eyes are looking for, Ava is like all unraveled right now, right? So Ava goes, "You know what? I'll let you two talk." And she scurries out. And Nina looks and she goes, "Why is Ava so squirrely, so acting weird, squirrely? What's going on?" He said, "Nina, it's not for you to know." And so she says, "Why was I not allowed in that?" He goes, "Look," she goes, "Sonny, we have talked about this." Sonny's sitting down and he got his hand and he kind of raises it off the desk a little bit. He says, "Look, I am taking care of my family. Okay. And that's all you need to know. For your safety, you don't need to know nothing else." And she looked at him because he said, "I'm protecting my family." And she looked at him, see, remember, Nina said, you can't ask questions. I mean, not Nina. Ava said, you can't ask no questions because he ain't going to give you no answers, right? So she looked at him and she leaned down on his desk. I just want to make sure that you know that this makes me feel like I'm one of your employees. She snatches her purse and she walks out. Sonny just looking. I'm like, you better give me a cup of coffee on your way out there. Sonny's looking at her like, I ain't got time for that drama. Look, please. You ain't getting in that penthouse. That was hilarious to me. Sonny, my boss Sonny is back, and I'm happy he's back. Right? So now we got Miss Betty. Oh, she takes a flash drive she had out of her pocket, plugs it in, and downloads those files onto it. Now, I bet you any amount of money, Brick is already logged into that laptop, and he's watching everything she's doing. Right? Because those are fake files they planted. Because Sonny had the flash drive that Brick gave him with all the fake files to put on there. So he did. And look, she just cat's meowing. Ooh, and her face is like, ooh, I'm the best. I'm the best at my job. I see, look, one day I get in here and I get the job done, right? Yeah. Yeah, chick. Getting the job done. So now Dex is in the house. And Avery took off her headphones. He goes, shh. And she goes, oh. So she puts her headphones back on. He's probably getting ready to go bust Betty. Sonny's probably going to end up firing Betty. Because and Betty ain't going to care because in her mind, she got the information. We'll see. We're going to see how. Because look, let's be real. Sonny's not going to let that chick be around his daughter too much. He really is not. But just enough to get what he wants her to have. And she's got it. She's got it now. So we'll see tomorrow how Dex, is it Dex how he interrupts her. We'll see what happens. She's going to try to run out because she's already now taken the flash drive out, put the lid of the laptop down. She's going to try to get out the office, but Dex is already in the house. So I don't know if he's going to hide and listen to her conversation. But see, to me, that's what cameras are for. You can hear everything she's saying and watch everything she's doing. But you know what? Look, that's just too much, forethought, actually, right? So anyway, that's it for today. General Hospital, nothing earth-shattering, but it was pretty good. But, this whole Ava, Nina, all that scene, that was pretty good. So let's go to Comic Corner. Comic Corner. I am says, I'm thinking Peter or Alex is after Anna. Patty says, I'd love for Pikeman to be Alcazar His chemistry with Carly was off the charts in the 90s. Nostalgia. Tom says Valentine burned the house. Linda says, I think the person that lit the fire, I thought the person that lit the fire walked like Valentine. Just my opinion. You know, I kind of thought so too, y'all, but I could think why I can't think of why he would burn her house down. I think he wants her to be scared so she will live with him. We're at the Metro Court. Valentine does not have a house. Valentine has a room in the Metro Court. Let's be real. He does not have a place for him and Charlotte. User says when Nina finds out she's going to blame Carly anyway, she may as well have let Sonny sign her out. Carly should have. Sabrina says, hi, Daily Recap Lady. I love the recap. At first, when the subject of who was the head of Pikeman came up, and it was not mentioned that it was a woman, my mind went to Jerry Jackson. No, Pikeman, when they first started, oh, you mean Pikeman. The head of Pikeman, oh, you said Paul Tuck, head of Paul Tuck. Okay, the head of Paul Tuck was always mentioned to be a woman, the boss, she, her. She wants you back in Paul Tuck. She didn't want Austin staying in Port Charles. They just now, this week, Mason said it's a he, just now. It's always been a woman. Then somebody says Jerry Jacks, but when it was said it was a woman, I thought Cassandra Pierce, or could it be both of them? I don't know what Jerry Jacks is up to these days. Also, Recap Lady, what if Anna is being used as a target to get Valentine to do their bidding for Pikeman? User says, I'm about sick of all these storylines. Get on with it already. It is getting boring, and I find myself skipping through several scenes. You know what? You and me both. I skip so much now. I try to read lips as I'm skipping so I can say something to you because I don't want to watch it. Ooh, fast forward. Leanne says Jocelyn needs a life, needs to get a life. For a year, she's had no point on the show except for going to bed with Dex and complaining about Sonny being in the mob. For a girl her age, she is too young to be worried that about things that she is. General Hospital needs to start creating more things for Jocelyn to do. Her storyline is stale and boring. It actually is. She needs to go visit her daddy in Australia. Amber says, or better yet, write her off. She should be written off the show because I really had enough of her. She really needs to go. And then Cindy says she should be focusing on the pre-meds because if she gets into medical school, she'll barely have time to go to the can, much less under the sheets with Dex. And then Yolanda says, could V be under mind control? Could Valentine be under mind control? Anything is possible. Right? NK Rose says, but I'd like to know what had happened. Because remember, all last summer, he was on the run with Anna, trying to rescue Lucy, which was a joke, right? Clearing Anna's name. And then he went with Laura to go look for Nicholas. So I don't know when the mind control could have happened. NK Rose says, I guess they really might be bringing back one of the Alcazar brothers. Both of those brothers are dead. Alexis killed the first Alcazar. She killed him and stabbed him and let him die in the snow. And then they liked the actor, and I liked it. I love that actor too. They liked the actor so much they brought him back as a twin, right? And then like later on in Comment Corner, people were talking about Jason killed him. Yeah, I remember that. NK Rose says Valentine could have also been brainwashed by Victor against Anna. Nope. NK Rose says Valentine is trying to force Anna to live with him for her safety. Yeah, let me burn down your house so you can come live with me at a hotel. This is like how he hired Sasha for Nina, always doing too much. Claretta says, as much as I would love for Sonny and Carly to reunite, I don't know if Maurice Bernard would be happy about it. He is so over Sonny being with Carly. He likes acting opposite of Cynthia Watros, which is Nina. And then Patty says, he did a recent interview half confirming that Nina and Sonny will break up. Of course they're going to break up. But then dropped another hint that he would love to see Sonny return to Alexis. Oh, heck no. I do not see Sonny and Alexis at all together. At all. I'm getting sick of Maurice B for real. But at least Alexis is a step up from Nina. I'd rather see him with Ava than see him with Alexis. They're just too... Alexis is too condescending. And the heck she gave Sam for being with Jason, Sonny's enforcers, all those years, she better not think about going back with Sonny. Because see, what a hypocrite. Lisa says, I think Carly would have let Dante sign her out of jail if Carly could have given Nina a hard time about Sonny being there to help her. Sonny will find out it was Mason going after Olivia and Carly, knocking him out. He will move on with the plan. Lisa says, why did they change the gender of the Holtuck boss? I don't know. I really don't know. When, new writers right now. So maybe they didn't watch and know it was a man. I'm a woman. I don't know. Now it's a he put Austin through medical school. He did this so he could take care of the crew. I know. Carly wants to stand on her own 2 feet. She can handle herself. She has no idea who Mason is. Eddie could have a concussion from his head bouncing off that bar. We said table, but off the bar. Eddie's part of Ned is being sweet today. Yeah, he was sweet to Olivia. P. Merle says, I can't believe that Valentine would hurt Anna. Me either. He truly loves her. Where is the head nurse Elizabeth when Mason is lurking all around Austin's office? Cuz seems to have free reign. I know. Elizabeth saw Dex, but she sure has never seen Mason. Mason lives there. You go into Austin's office, Mason has his feet up on the desk, right? Hello there, says Carly should have let Sonny sign her out of the PCPD and then let Jocelyn take her home. So what happens? Jocelyn just blabs away to Carly and starts grilling her. The worst scene of the show, in my opinion. Here's the thing. You know what Chase said? Chase said, look, just let him sign you out. When you get out the door, call for a car. Chase said that. Why didn't Carly do that? That was too easy. You even told the easy way out. I am says Josh turned off her phone and doesn't think about her mom once. Sharon says Alcazar is the boss, even trying to take Sonny down since the 90s. He is in love with Carly. He is one of Sonny's, he was the one who Sonny accidentally shot in the head. Nope. Sonny accidentally shot Carly in the head. Alcazar was delivering Morgan and he was over Carly, trying to catch the baby, because he's a doctor, right? And Carly was yelling, childbirth pains yelling. And he was like, push Carly, it's almost here. And Sonny came busting through the door and all he could hear was Carly yelling out, really moaning, delivering a baby, his baby, pushing the baby out. But Sonny thought Alcazar was hurting her because Alcazar was over her and his back was to Sonny. And Sonny pulls a gun and he's like, Alcazar. And when Alcazar turns to look at Sonny, Sonny shot the bullet and oh my God, it hit Carly in the head. It hit Carly in the head. Sure did. Linda says, I'm thinking it's Alcazar who is Mason and Austin's boss. Maybe Cyrus. I mean, look, Jason killed Alcazar, but they bring people back from the dead all the time. Look, there could be triplets. Could be a triplet, right? That triplet that went to a good school, didn't want no part of the Alcazar gun running business. They ran guns and weapons. And so P. Merle says Alcazar is dead. Oh, Linda also says, thinking Alcazar, who is Mason and Austin's boss, maybe Cyrus. Cyrus is going to play something big. P. Merle says, Lorenzo is dead. Yes, ask Jason. Bones are at the bottom of the bay. And Linda says to P. Merle, I can't remember his brother's name. All I know is he was a twin. Yes, he was a twin. And Alexis killed him the first time he was on the show. When she was drunk out of her mind, drunk as a skunk, and let him lay there and die in the snow. Lucy says, it's time to wrap up this Pikeman storyline. Sonny's plan to expose Avery's new nanny, Betty, should do it. It is time well, the Pikeman storyline is different from the Paul Tuck storyline. The Paul Tuck folks want to find out about the Pikeman deal. I'm ready for the Paul Tuck to go. Take Austin, Mason, everybody, Betty, everybody with him, right? Let's get this Pikeman deal over and done with. But now that they're showing there's a connection with them in the WSB, they're going to be a bigger and more formidable opponent than Sonny thought. Anthony says, that's what she thinks. I don't know what that means. Ron says, Valentine knows more than he's saying to Anna. And Anna slowly begins to see it. Mason had begins to see. And then it says, Mason had 5 cuts on his neck. GH made it like he was totally ignored. Really? I don't think so. Well, I don't know. Ignored about what? Because he sure came in acting like a baby for his cousin to stitch him up. Vivian says, I think the boss is the Alcazar, and maybe it's a cousin. Could be. Sharon says, I'm so glad someone else is thinking that way. I remember you always tried to take Sonny's territory away from him. He blamed Jason and Sonny are killing his crazy brother. Well, Alexis killed him. Any been trying to get Carly away from Sonny? Oh, we won't get that part. From Jason and Sonny, playing her sister. I guess there was an Alcazar sister or an Alcazar daughter. Oh, well, yeah, Sky from All My Children had Lila Ray, which was an Alcazar daughter, and she set up Alcazar for Jason and Sonny. She wanted to protect her daughter, Lila Ray. Jason took his butt out, gone bye-bye. Yeah, Alcazar's dead. Scanoniful says, Jason always loved Lila. She accepted him as the new Jason before everyone in her family. She and Emily always supported and loved him. Was Tracy around during that period? I don't think so. Deborah says, Anna will find Valentine is either involved with Paul Tuck. No, you mean Pikemen. Involved with the Pikemen. There's 2 different P's going on. And will Sonny's plan work? Do you think Cyrus is the boss? I do think Cyrus has got a plan, and that would mean Cyrus has Nicholas, and Laura has been looking for him. So we shall see what's going to go on with that. Well, that's it, everybody. That is it for Comment Corner for General Hospital. I will be back tomorrow for another daily recap of General Hospital.